Our new partner who I'm really, really excited to announce we are working with. Super, super stoked. Thank you, Angie Huberman, for this connect. It's incredible. AG1 Athletic Greens. I've been using them for a while. I have them every morning on an empty stomach. Basically, take one scoop and you put it into a cup or glass or mug of 8 ounces of cold water. And this is all your greens for the day. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Every day I take this. It's so good for my digestion, my energy. It's simple. It's easy. I don't like taking a lot of vitamins. This has been really, really helpful for me. I've had a lot of stomach issues my whole life, and ever since I've been gluten-free and taking the AG1s, it's really helped me in my stomach in the mornings. I love it, and I'm so psyched that they're part of the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm sure a lot of people don't like eating greens, let alone drinking your greens, but I can tell you straight up, it's got a mild tropical taste, and the taste is actually really refreshing, and I really look forward to it each morning. Don't think it's just going to be just straight bland. It tastes really, really good, and it's good for you, so remember that. This one blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's incredible, just one scoop, especially for musicians who are vegans or just musicians in general who want to get those daily greens. You can get the packets. It's incredible. I just gave some to my friend Derek from Sepultura. He traveled the whole entire world this summer, and he had those every single day. He said it saved him. I bring AG1s with me when I travel. It helps me stay healthy. You know the deal. If you're on tour and you are a picky eater, but you need to have your greens, sometimes catering doesn't have greens. Sometimes you miss the catering. Sometimes you miss the backstage food. Sometimes it's too late after the show to go get food that you like. So if you just have a scoop of AG1s in your hotel room before you go to bed, or you're in the hotel room at night and you're starving and you want something healthy, boom, life changer. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with some convenient daily nutrition. That's all you need, one scoop in a cup every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. This is it. I'm super psyched. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/OLLC to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. This is incredible. I love it. It's just basic greens. For me personally, this has changed my life tremendously. I'm not a junk food vegan. I don't eat a lot of fake meats, so I'm strictly greens. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful new addition to my life. So once again, visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. and get 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. athleticgreens.com/OLLC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Microphone check, microphone check.
Hello.
Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Toby Morse. I took off the month of August because it was so hot in my house. I don't have central air, but now I'm back. And my brother from another mother, Mr. Derek Green, is back from his long 10-month tour.
10-month
tour.
What's up?
Thank you for being here, dude. I missed you so much.
Oh, my God. I missed you, too.
I missed our connection. You know what I mean?
Yes. I know what you mean, man. But I'm back. It was 3 months, not 10.
It felt like a year for me, man.
It felt like a really long time. But
and you look nice in my new Caddis camouflage glasses.
Thank you.
Really nice.
I can see better.
And then welcome to the podcast, Brooklinn Khoury.
Hello.
You're such a cool name.
Yeah.
Thank you. My parents gave it to me.
I know. Your parents
so
are awesome.
Dope.
They're
Thank
so
you
cool.
for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
We got to give a big shout out to Bobby Hundreds for making this connection.
Bobby Hundreds?
He's the best.
A couple
He's
months
awesome.
ago, he had told me about you, and then also he did something about you on the Hundreds, and then I started following you and watching your journey, and yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So how are you?
Excited.
How's life?
I'm so good. Life is great. I think one day at a time, and that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
But I have to say before we even get started,
Okay.
my neighbor Kristen is obsessed with you. And she's the reason why I'm here.
Stalker.
Not
Really?
even kidding. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. I was walking my dog outside.
She gave you the go ahead?
I was walking my dog outside and she was like, Brooklyn. I'm like, yeah. She's like, how do you know Toby? I'm like, Toby who? She's like, Toby Morse. He follows you on Instagram. I'm like, oh, he does. Okay. Yeah. How do you know him? She's like, oh, he's in a sick band. You should do that podcast because I guess you like commented something. So now I'm here.
It was a long time ago, right?
A long time ago. So I'm here because of her.
Kristen,
Quick shout out.
Hi,
fans,
Kristen.
the
Thank you.
fans.
Kristen.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
cool.
thank you for
cool.
being here. Before we get to all your most recent journeys, obviously I want to hear about you growing up. You were born in Rancho, San Margarita.
Yeah.
True?
Mission Viejo.
Mission
Viejo.
Hey.
Orange County.
I said, oh, that's what. Okay,
That's
the
that's
OC.
OC.
in the OC. Oh, okay. Okay.
The Orange County.
Orange
huh?
County.
Orange
yeah.
County.
And
Okay.
how was it growing up there?
You know what? There's a lot of privileged kids out there. My parents,
Privilege.
they are. No,
I hear you.
100%. My parents, from a very young age of me growing up, I saw them struggle in their ways that they did, but
Yeah.
I've never once seen them give up. So I think it was like very cool to be surrounded by people that have a lot of money and that are very privileged, but also be in that neighborhood, seeing my parents struggle and then just having them never give up and do what they need to do and grow up in that type of environment where like I never really related to the kids that I went to high school with
Yeah.
or middle school. Like I walked to school, had my neighbors take me, was very like disconnected, but also connected at the same time.
Yeah.
I hear you.
You have
Yeah.
siblings?
I have two, yeah, a younger brother and an older brother. They're cool. Yeah, my brother is about to have a kid, or not my brother,
Oh,
my brother's
It's
wife.
like his younger brother. It's like, geez, starting early.
No. They're married. They're about to have a kid, but
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, another little brother. He's cool.
And your parents, the background is like you're Greek and Lebanese.
Yeah,
That's
my
cool mix.
mom's Greek and my dad's Lebanese, and
They were born there. No.
my dad was born in Lebanon, and then my mom was
cool.
she was born here, but her dad like wrote everything
Oh,
Greek.
wow.
Yeah, super
That's
cool.
so cool.
Good food.
Have
A
you ever?
lot.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
good
yeah.
food, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I've never been there. I
man.
want to go
To
so
Greek
bad.
or Lebanon.
No, I've never. I was supposed to go to Greek last year. COVID.
It's probably one of the
Oh, yeah.
During
best
COVID.
food combination
So
countries
good.
ever.
So good. It's
Wow.
amazing. Yeah. No, I've never gone, but I need to go.
I
yeah.
have been smashing that Pure Vita vegan Greek salad
Ooh.
almost every night, ordering it. It's like $18, but it's really good.
$18.
Oh, he's putting prices out
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. I love you, Pure
Light
Vita.
flex, light flex.
But it's like no, but I didn't mean. I'm just saying it's like the most
He's all right.
expensive, amazing Greek vegan salad. I just want to say that.
I'm gonna try it.
It's
I never
really
had
good.
it there.
So were you skating as a kid too? Or is that later on in life?
Okay. I didn't skate. No, my parents, what they did is like they owned what is it? Banners, stickers, decals, everything
Okay.
like that. That's what they did, graphic design. So they owned a shop, and then they would do business with like World Industries, Independent, a long time ago, Vans, you name it,
That's cool.
everything. So World Industries gave me a skateboard when I was super young. Didn't know what I was doing with it. Still don't know what I'm doing with it. But no,
I don't know about that,
I
but-
would just roll down the street and I would tell my neighbors like, yeah, I want to be a skateboarder when I grow up. Well, I didn't know anything of what I was doing. Put that in the garage. Coming out of like senior year in high school, I saw a kid that used to make fun of me eat it on a skateboard, and I was like, I could do it better than you, and I'm gonna do it better than you. And that's
Wow.
I went to the skate park. I visually watched a couple YouTube videos, and then I kind of just figured it out. I mean, I got hurt a lot. I
Yeah.
did. But I mean, that's how it came about.
Wow.
That's insane.
And then in school when you graduated, what were you doing? What was like your goal?
Yeah. What year did you graduate?
Yeah.
I graduated 2017.
Wow.
That
We're
was
so
like,
old.
I know. That's like a few years ago.
Holy, for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
2017.
That's
And
amazing.
You know what? I've always been so envious of people that like get out of high school and they're like, I want to become a doctor. I'm like, I hate you. I hate that you know what you want to do, because I grew up trying to like figure out what I wanted to do. I'm still figuring out what I want to do. I have no idea. Like there's
Yeah.
so many things that I want to do, but I just don't know how to like hyper focus on that or go about it. So for me, I don't know yet,
Yeah, you have
but
some
I
time.
got my associate's degree. I went 2 years into
Hey.
college, and
Oh,
then I
that's
was like,
cool.
school's not for me. I struggled
Got it.
so hard. I failed a math class 3 times, the same one.
Wow.
You think I would learn like after the first time?
so your grades weren't good in school, really?
No, they were great.
Okay.
Math, not good
I
at
suck
all.
at math too, man.
Math's
He's probably good.
D's always. I don't.
Yeah.
But
Your parents weren't strict about that?
they were wanting me to go to college. They wanted me to be happy. They encouraged me to go to college. They didn't force me to do anything that I wanted to do. They didn't ever, my mom tells me growing up, like she never wanted me to like regret or not regret, but have like, what do you call it?
Resentment?
Resentment. Yeah. She didn't ever want me to resent her for making me do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So she was kind of like, figure it out, but like be a good kid and do good. And I was like, yes, like, of course.
Were you a good kid?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm very straight edge, honestly.
Okay. She's on the edge.
Straight edge.
Yeah. So
were you claiming straight edge? You never really tried much growing up?
no, I just didn't care to. I thought
Right.
like I was just very much my own person and you could do what you want, but I would never judge you for it, but I was like, I'm never going to do that myself. So
wow.
yeah.
That's amazing. And that had nothing to do with punk or nothing.
No, nothing.
Cool. Man.
Honestly.
I love that. I love it just like
Yeah.
just happens that way, you know?
Yeah, I think I grew up I was never like I was curious on everything else except for that kind of stuff. Like I would look at alcohol and I'd be like, I don't want to try that. And even if I did, I'd be like, this is disgusting. Like I was that type of person. Like I still am. I really am. Like 23, I'll try a drink and I'm like
barely old enough
awful.
to drink legally.
That's crazy.
Right. 2 years.
So you never really tried much of any of that stuff, huh?
No,
Wow.
I never went to not one high school and party in high school.
Wow.
Never went to a party in high school.
Really?
I loved music. I loved going on walks. I loved being outside, but I just
Did you go to any shows
I was gonna
while
ask
you
you
were
that.
in high school?
like
Punk shows or
or
anything?
any
You know
type of
what?
show?
No.
Rock shows,
No.
pop shows, nothing.
I love that.
no.
We
I
talked
didn't.
before the party. Like I don't know anything about any of this stuff for the bands or all that.
Yeah, no. I really.
What kind of
don't.
music? Oh, you sing too. Oh, I get to your songs later. I listen to your songs too.
Oh no.
You have a great voice.
Oh no. No.
Dude, you can sing.
You know
I
what? My
reading
favorite,
about that.
my favorite type of music is 50s.
Really?
Wow.
I am obsessed.
Interesting.
That's
Was
awesome.
that being
Aretha
played at your
Franklin.
house?
You
Yeah.
know what? I tried to go back and like figure out why I was into this music. My dad gave me one. He would go. My parents would go on like weekend trips for work. And he gave me one CD, and the CD was Celine Dion. Yeah.
Oh my
So I would
God.
sit in my room the whole time while I was being babysat. I would sit in my room and I would listen to the album. And to this day, I know every word on the album. Like
Is that My Heart Will Go On that one?
no,
No,
it was something Rain and Tax, that one.
Okay.
Whatever album that was, I know everything
Dude,
about
she got
it.
so many hits, man.
She's
Celine.
so
Nobody
good.
talks about her, man.
I know.
She's very underrated in my opinion.
You
I
think?
think she fell off after she did like that whole Vegas tour. Like I think
Vegas
it
could do that.
right.
Suck the
And
life
I
out of you.
don't blame her.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think that does? You think it takes away from the mystery of you, or like you only come to town when you have a new record to promote? But if you're there every single night, just like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think
because
it's
Katy Perry's there too now.
true.
I'd love
true.
to see that, but
I think it would be draining after a while.
Yeah, I
mean, as
agree.
an artist, I'd be like, I want to get out.
Because it's not like a different place. You're just at
Yeah.
the same place doing the
Right.
same thing. Different people, right? But like the same.
And it's Vegas.
And
it has
it-
a weird energy there.
It is a
to
weird
begin
energy.
with.
I know Britney did it in the industry's eyes. You think it means like this is your final? Like
It
when you
doesn't
don't tour,
necessarily
you
have
can
to
just
be
do
that way.
Vegas. I mean, I don't know how people perceive it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Vegas.
I don't know, but I just know the energy in Vegas is just something that's very negative.
It's like a
I
time
felt.
warp.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's a time warp and it's
Yeah.
negative. It's like all about gambling, spending money, and when it's so much emphasis on money, it becomes, for me,
Facts.
very ugly. And
Yeah.
I agree,
nasty.
dude.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Yeah.
Vegas is rough. No disrespect.
Yeah.
All the people from Vegas listening.
You know.
But it's not really my town.
Yeah, it's not my.
I love playing punk rock bowling.
not my cup of tea.
There's
mate.
a good vegan spots out there now. Whatever. Anyway, back to you. So, all right. So you grade. So you graduate, which is only a couple years ago. It's like so crazy.
Yeah.
Are you working a job then?
So right out of my 2 year, I actually got a job working at the college, helping teach English as a second language and then adults with disabilities. So I did that for 4 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had fun. I
Okay.
liked it. But I was like, I need to do something more. Like, this is not it. Like, I could have stayed in that job for the rest of my life, but I was sitting there and I was like, I need to do more. Like, I need something else. And I think we're always searching
Totally.
for that. Like, what can I do better? What can I do that's next? So I honestly was like, I don't know. This is not it. And I was thinking that, right? COVID hit.
Oh.
Oh,
We
yeah.
weren't at work and they wanted me online all day. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Hit me back when you guys are like coming back in person again. Cause I don't I don't want to be.
The virtual stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, virtual. Yeah, I didn't want that.
I feel bad for Max's end now. Max had to graduate virtually. We went to the school, but it was really weird. But your last senior year, you were on the internet all the time. That was whack, though. Junior, yeah.
Junior and senior year.
Half of junior.
That sucks.
Wow,
that sucks.
Damn.
They know we're talking, Max. On the microphone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the pandemic. So you're skating hard. Then you start skating probably a lot at that point.
Yeah, you know
right?
what? I was skating like whenever I wasn't scheduled for work, I was always skating. Like
Yeah.
I seriously was at the skate park on my weekends. I didn't have work. I was there from 9 to 9 at night. I stayed there the whole day. Like you would have thought
Skate
I had.
parks were open in OC.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, everything was open. No,
Yeah.
that shit
Everything.
never closed, bro.
No,
Just saying.
exactly.
I mean,
Oh, they were open. They were open.
Yeah.
They,
Because
no
Max
masks.
was surfing out there too. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I was surfing as well. So yeah, I mean, I skated and then I was getting little things for like commercial work and
Yeah, we do modeling too.
right. I was
Okay.
modeling and then they were offering commercial work and like I set a goal. I was like, ooh, by the end of like 2020, I want to do a commercial. Like that would be so sick.
I have a question.
Yes.
So how did people even know that you even exist in
Instagram.
that whole? Okay.
Instagram,
So you were
social
making
media.
videos.
Yeah, I started posting like little clips of me skating,
Okay.
and then that's honestly how it happened.
Wow.
I think for a lot of people too.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
That's
social
how it goes
media.
these days.
Yeah?
Man.
Yeah, man.
All
Come
right,
on.
all right,
It's
all
like almost
right.
like your resume of what you do. And
I
it's-
see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just check my social media. No.
Check my gram.
But that's how you started doing it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started posting on social media, skating, and then little companies would be like, hey, let me send you this, and I was like, all right, I love free stuff, who doesn't? Yeah, it kind of like just took off from there, and then I was getting a lot of modeling deals as well for skateboarding, I
Cool.
assume. And then yeah, I was like, I want to do a commercial, that would be super sick. I got my commercial and then went to Arizona. I was supposed to film the next week, and then the attack happened.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And the attack. So you have
Dude.
to go into detail about
No,
the
I got
attack.
that written down here. But
Okay.
I know I
Oh
probably
my-
skipped a few.
Nah, man. Like,
No.
dude.
But that's like the timeline of it. So like I received that. I was like,
Because you were visiting, were you
holy-
visiting family or were you just going for the
Yeah. So my cousin lived up there in
Arizona.
Arizona.
what part? Mesa?
Gibson. I want to
Okay.
say. Yeah, Gibson.
And that's 2020.
Yeah, 2020. So I was like, my goal was to do a commercial, right? Got the commercial.
Yes. What was the commercial?
It was.
They wouldn't tell me, but I would be skating and surfing in it. So they didn't.
You surf too?
Yeah, that's
oh
why.
man, you guys gotta surf. You heard that?
Uh-huh.
You gotta surf.
That's why I
man.
said you're at Topanga. I'm there all the
Yeah,
time.
Max, you all gotta surf, man. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
So you were like on top of the world. You're
You
like,
hear the
this
story,
is
Max.
happening. Everything is going in
Yeah,
place. Everything is
Max.
happening.
Yeah. Let's. I want to hear this story. I mean, you told the story probably a million times, but like not in this podcast.
Yeah,
Right.
not on this one.
That's
So
right.
you're out there. You're going out there. You're going to visit family.
Mm.
Do you have pets growing up?
I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love animals. I still do.
Yeah.
It was just one of those freak things. That's all that it was. It was weird.
Step
I've
by
met the
step.
dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Okay.
be
Okay.
heavy, man.
Let me
Yeah.
unbox.
And do you still
Like-
love pit bulls? Is the question.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have
respect.
nothing against them at
Yeah.
all. Like if you have one, be careful. Be careful with any dog. That's not my like. I'm not out here to put shame or
Yeah.
to talk bad on the breed.
You raise
not?
animals with love,
Right.
just like you raise humans with love. It starts in the home. Unless you get a dog, you rescue a dog that's been beaten and
Rescue,
abused
right.
his whole life, like the one down the street who's
Right,
so timid.
right.
The sweetest pit bull on my street that's so timid of the
Yeah.
life that they had before it got rescued. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because they've had the pit bull since it was a baby. They've literally raised that,
And no
and they
issues
are
with
the
it before
sweetest
that.
people. Never have bit once. So it was
So-
one of those things that
we
Okay,
taking
so let's
notes.
start.
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
taking notes. Yeah, so it was one of those things that, like, yes, I can say that you can raise it with love, right? But they raised it with love. They had it
Great point.
properly
So
chained.
who is they? Like,
My cousin and her husband.
okay, so you're at their house.
Just visiting.
Yeah.
You're like, what's
It was
up?
during COVID. Flights were
Okay.
probably like $50.
And you met the dog before many times.
Met the dog plenty of times
Okay,
before.
so you knew that. Okay.
Yeah, I knew the dog. I met him before. I went to Arizona. We were there for 2 days. Went to get our nails done. We got our nails done. They were looking good.
Nails did,
And this is the
hey.
thing, yeah, right? They look good. But this is the thing that, like, I don't really. There's a weird thing that happened before. We got our nails done. We went to this vitamin shop, and I walk in, and I'm always very friendly to everyone. Hi, how you doing? How's
Yeah.
it going? Like, just how are you? She looked at me and she's like, hey, I'm good. How are you? I'm like, great, thanks. And she like looked at me. She's like, I just want to let you know. And I was like, yeah. She's like, you're going to remain positive through whatever you go through. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, that means a lot. And it didn't start hitting me, and it didn't become weird until she said it 2 other times. Like I'm in the aisle, right, in this vitamin shop, looking at this fragrance, like a room spray. And she's like, hey, do you remember what I said? And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's like, you remember what I said? And I was like, she's like, you're going to remain positive through whatever you go through. And I was like, thank you so much. And finally I was like, do you know something that I don't? Because like, you've said this 4 times now. Like, this is like kind of weird.
Holy shit.
15 minutes later from that moment, the attack happened.
Oh my God.
So we left the vitamin shop.
Left the vitamin shop.
We went back to the house.
Okay.
We were going to pick something up. Literally supposed to go in and out. We were on our way to lunch. We were literally picking something up from the house. I go in. I am sitting in, imagine like an L-shaped kitchen. Like it's to a T, like just an L. A center island in the middle. I'm sitting on one end. My cousin is turned around putting things in the shelves, in the cupboards, making noise.
Yeah.
I'm not by the dog's bowl. I'm not by a toy. I'm not by anything. He's sitting down. I'm like, oh, you're such a good boy. And I turn back like this to look at what my cousin's doing. And I turn around and he jumps out from the ground and he's literally hanging on my lip. So in the split of a second,
oh my God,
I'm like, oh my gosh, like I got to get on the ground and hold his head and go wherever he goes. Like in the instant.
His jaws locked?
I could not get him off of me. Yeah, his jaws were locked.
The jaws are not just on your mouth; it's like probably in your face too. Your cheeks and shit.
Yeah, he was like this, and I just remember like seeing, like I remember closing my eyes and holding his head, but I remember opening my eyes and just seeing gums and like these teeth, like literally like in like right here. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like I'm not shoving him away because I don't want him to pull, right? But I have a very high pain tolerance. So like at the time, I had just thought he bit on and then bit off. Yeah. Like until I pulled him away, right? And something flew against the wall and fell down. And I kind of just went like, I stood up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the biggest breath of fresh air that I've ever had in my life. Like the only way I can describe it is that somebody shoved dry ice up my nose. That's how it felt. And I just was breathing in and I was like, wow, this is so nice. And then I'm like, oh, what's that taste? And I kind of like feel my chin and I'm like, red. It's like all blood. And I look down at my shirt and it's just a V of blood. And I'm like, oh my God, like what the heck happened? So I turn around and my cousin looks at me and she's like, you're going to sue me. Oh my God, you're going to hate me. That shouldn't be your first thought.
No.
Get me to the hospital, right? Yeah. So I have my phone in my back pocket and I'm like sitting there like, okay, what do I do? And I'm holding the counter because I'm like, I'm losing a lot of blood, like lot of blood. So I'm holding onto the counter and I'm like, I got to get to the hospital. And she's like, I need to call my cousin. I need to figure this out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I need to call 911. Like, you need to take me to the hospital. Like, I don't know what's going on, but like, you need to take me to the hospital.
Were you in pain or were you just so in shock at that moment?
I have a very high pain tolerance, but I remember, everyone asked me like, oh, were you in shock? Like, maybe my body was in shock, but I knew everything was going on. I was very cognizant. Like I was there. Like I could write down and show you every detail of the time and everything. But I was, and before we even got to the house, like I was so insecure about one thing, which I think is like so funny because I had a zit on my upper lip and I sent it to my friend. I was sending my friend a picture and I went like this, right? Like, yeah, like just like about to go have dinner or whatever, or lunch, sorry, like on our way to lunch. And I sent him a photo like this and I cropped my lip out because of that upper zit.
Wow.
Yeah. The lip on my upper lip. The zit.
So that's what you were stressed at that moment. Yeah. Wow.
Right? Like it's something so small that can like really make you insecure about yourself. 15 minutes later from that picture, my whole upper lip was gone. And the only way that I knew that it was my lip, because I was like, there's no way. Like there's absolutely no way that my lip is literally sitting on the ground over there.
That's what hit the wall.
That's when the thing that flew off and hit the wall was my whole upper lip.
Oh
okay. Yeah. And parts of my nose too. Like the whole thing was ripped off.
Did you know it? You didn't know it then?
I looked at it and I was like, all right, yeah, like, yeah, there it is. Oh. But it didn't look, you would think that it was like bloody and gory. It just looked like fat, like fat and tissue. Like it had no blood on it. It was weird.
Wow.
So I was like looking at it. I'm like, what is that? And it wasn't until I went into the bathroom because I was like, I need to see what I look like.
He's giving me fucking, go ahead.
Yeah. It's horrible. So like, I remember like having blood on my hands because my cousin's freaking out. I'm like, what are you freaking out about? Like I had thought that he just bit on and didn't take anything off. So I went to the bathroom and I flipped on the light switch. And I just remember grabbing the sink and looking at myself and being like, oh my God. Like,
I saw the pictures, like everything's gone.
How are you going to fix that?
Yeah,
like, seriously,
yeah,
like in that moment, I was like, you can't fix this. Like, this is not something that you can just fix. And I just remember sitting there and I was like, what is my parents going to think? Like, I was worried about them, Wow. I didn't even care about society. I think I'm that type of kid that like never wants to let their parents down. So I just like, I try to do everything that I can to like make sure they're okay. How can I help you? So I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, like what is my parents going to think? And at the time, like she wasn't my girlfriend, but I was like, what's Chloe going to think? My girlfriend now, like I was worried that like, I mean, how do you not be worried?
Everything's going through your head at that moment. There's so many
you're
things
just
going through your head, man.
Can't do the commercial, like, and that just goes deeper than that. I wasn't even worried about that at that point. I was just worried about me, like, and not trying to be rude, like worried about me. But it was one of those things that it's like, oh my gosh, like, what do you do?
So
what do you do?
So they rush you. So
does the ambulance come? Do they call?
No. So I take my phone and I'm trying to call someone. She's like, she grabbed my phone. She's like, don't call the cops. I'm like, I need to go to the doctor. Like,
what?
She was freaking out. I mean, she was in shock. And you know what? I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt, because
it's that moment.
Right. Exactly. Like, you don't know how somebody's going to take stress or trauma or that type of an injury. Like it was.
Are they thinking about their dog having to get put down? Who knows?
Right. Exactly. And I mean, they had to take the dog and put it in the other room. She had to take the dog and put it in the other room. And he was making the craziest sounds I've never heard. Okay. Do you know Stranger Things?
Yeah. Stranger Things.
Yeah. He went crazy. Stranger Things. Like the Demogorgon, like that.
Yeah.
He was literally making that sound. And I have never seen a dog or any animal make a sound like that. Like, I was genuinely sitting there like, oh my God, he's literally going to kill me. He's literally going to come after me again. And she kept saying, she's like, go hide in the bathroom. He's going to come after you again. If he breaks down that door, he's going to get you. I'm like,
oh my God.
Why don't you call the ambulance, man?
Right. So I was like, I looked at her and I was like, you got to get me to the hospital. Like, you need to get your shit together and like, just get me there, and you can panic and do whatever you want when you get me there. Like, as soon as you drop me off at the emergency room, go do what you got to do. But I need to get to the hospital.
How much time do you think it had gone by?
This was 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Yo,
it took
dude.
the hospital was 11 minutes away. 11 minutes away.
Makes me mad. I'm sorry.
Did they pick up? Did she pick up your lip?
So where I'm pep talking her. I'm like, you got to get me there. She is driving, right? And she's like, oh, I got to get something. So she goes up and gets it with a paper towel and puts it on her leg. She's looking at it while she's driving. She's having like mini panic attacks. I'm like, yo, don't look at it. Let me take it. She's no, it's okay. I'm like,
adrenaline's going. Everybody.
She's freaking out. I'm as one would.
I get it. I totally get it.
I don't blame her. I wish some things were to be different that had been done, but you can't reverse time. You can't. I mean, everything happened for a reason. She sees a cop on the side of the road. She's like, I'm just gonna drop you off to him. He needs to take you. And I literally looked at her. I was like, the hospital is 8 minutes away. Like, get your shit together and get me there. Like, I'm not going in a cop's car. You're gonna get me there.
Hey, this girl got her face. Here's her lip. Like,
you should have just called the ambulance at that point.
No, he'd be like, what? Here's the girl and here's her lip.
Like,
that's so weird.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I'm in the hospital. I'm sorry, not even. We get to the hospital and I'm like outside walking. They have like a little check-in center outside because of COVID. And I have a rag. She threw a rag over my face and told me to cover up because she didn't like the way I looked. All right, I get that. I don't want her to pass out. That's like the last thing I need at that situation.
Because your shit's all open, right?
Oh, it's
okay.
Destroyed.
I saw the pics, but kind of blurred out.
Yeah. I'll show you the real one.
I want to see the real one.
Okay. So I'm like, I'm with a rag right over my mouth, and the emergency girl, she's like, hi, how are you? I'm like, hi, good, how are you? And like,
did you speak? Or no?
I was fine. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think like I'm holding the rag over my mouth, and she's like, how are you? I'm like, good, how are you? She's like, what's your first name? I'm like, Brooklyn, Brooklinn. She goes, can you spell it again? I'm like, Brooklinn. And she's like, last name? I'm like, Khoury, Khoury. She's like, all right, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'm like, yeah. Have you had a fever in the last 14 days? No. Have you been dizzy? No. All right, what are you here for? I take the rag off. Oh, go inside. Okay, someone, come on. We need to help her. I'm like, all right. So I go to the second desk, okay? That's the main check-in. Same questions. Same slowness of pace.
Dude.
I'm all, dude, like, I'm bleeding out. I'm like, literally like, Brooklyn, Brooklinn, Khoury, Khoury. I'm like sitting there. like, all right, what do we got to do? And someone from the back comes in, rushes out. They're like, are you Brooklyn? I'm like, yeah. Okay, come on. She needs morphine. I'm like, I don't need morphine. Don't give me morphine. No, you're in shock. I'm like, no, you're in shock. I'm like, I don't have pain. Like, if I have pain, I'll let you know. But I'm like, don't put anything in my IVs. Like, if you do not run it by me.
Right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm like, don't put anything in my IVs. Like, if I need anything, I'll let you know. And he's like, I don't know about this. Oh, okay, let's go. And then he comes back later, and he's like, hey, I know you're going to get, I had to be taken to another hospital. There was no plastic surgeon at that hospital, and the plastic surgeon at the other hospital wasn't working. So this man had to drive 6 hours to get to me. And he did.
Oh
like,
my God.
I swear.
Lifesaver, man.
I'm serious. And I don't even know his name. Like, I wish I could thank him. Like,
one day you'll see him.
Yeah. And my nurse, Lisa, like, they're the ones. I was joking with them. Like, I was in the hospital and I was like, I could sit there and be like so sad for myself and be like, God, this sucks. But I was like, I was just messing with them. Like, I don't know why. My sense of humor is very like random. So I mean, I was sitting there and just messing with them. But yeah, I mean, I was in there and the nurse comes back and he's like, hey, can I take a picture of your accident? I'm like, yeah, of course. He's like, we have a group chat that kind of goes on and we're seeing what case is worse. I'm like, do what you got to do, man. So he takes a picture of my face and I'm sitting there and I'm like, it didn't look that bad because they had put gauze over it. So I could still see my nose. Of course, like there's blood, but I was like, they're going to be able to fix this. I'm looking in the corner. My lip is literally on ice, like literally in the corner. I'm like, there it is. Like, so visually to see that. And it was like this, right? And then by the end of the day, I mean, it was shrinked up. Like it's weird.
Right.
Because the tissue dies, right? So, yeah, that thing was, I mean, it was done. Yeah. So I had to stayed in there. I got to the hospital at like I want to say like closer to 1:52 p.m. Yeah. Okay. And then, so I'm there in the afternoon. He's writing his notes. So I'm there. And then I get transferred to the other one and it's a 45-minute ambulance ride. So I'm sitting there and the guy is like, have you ever been in an ambulance? Have you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So ambulances are like, they're the most awkward. I mean, like you're literally in a car that's like trying to take care of you. Right. So I'm sitting there with a guy. He's like, you're one of my easiest patients today. And he's like, it's funny because you look the worst. I'm like, yeah, so I'm sitting in the back of the truck and I'm like, dude, you look so uncomfortable. Cause they're like, I mean, it's tiny in there, right? So they have this like little seat to sit on and then the back kind of goes like this on both sides. So he's like hovering over me, so awkward. I'm like, you can sit on the back of the bed, like make yourself comfortable. Like we got 45 minutes and I'm fine. So like do what you gotta do. So I get to the other hospital and it kind of had set in. So I got into the room. My parents aren't there. They're, in California. I sent
do they know how bad
they didn't know because she was telling me not to text anyone, but I had sent a picture of half of my face to my friends and they were like, what kind of makeup is that? What are you doing? Like, are you filming something? And I was like, I didn't have time to respond. So they probably knew like the urgency of that and me not replying. So they actually sent it to my mom.
Oh God.
And my mom and my brother were downstairs and my mom opened it and she was like, what the hell is this? Like, what is that? And my brother took her phone and deleted the picture because she was just staring at it and I think she was starting to freak out. I wasn't there, but this is what he's telling me. He was like, she starts freaking out. And what do you do when your daughter's, 6 hours away?
I would freak out.
Yeah, exactly.
Freak out.
And and I don't blame him, but my brother like took her phone. He's like, it's going to be okay. Like, we're going to figure this out. Don't worry. And she's like, I have to go to Arizona. So my mom and my dad drove all the way up 6 hours, to Arizona. And by that time, like I'm waiting in the operating room. I'm waiting in the just like the pre-op room, getting ready to go into the operation room. And I'm alone. I've never had surgery before. I've never done any of this. Wow. First time. Yeah. Not now, but no,
were they explaining to you like, look,
no, they didn't. I had thought like I was in happy hopes. I was like, they're going to just reattach it. Like there's literally not a big deal. They're going to put it back on my face. We're going to look fine. Couple scars will be good. Like that's honestly what I thought. I never talked to the surgeon. Really? He came in like 5 minutes before the operation. He's like, hi, I'm your surgeon. Blah, blah, blah. We're here to help you. I'm like, okay, cool. I remember nurses coming up to me, having me sign papers. Hey, do you want to donate if anything goes bad? Like, do you want to donate your body? And I don't even know how old I was at the time, but I mean, like what, 2020?
Yeah.
Can't do math. Told you I'm really bad at math.
Like 20
But like, yeah, I was just sitting there and I was getting so scared because I was like, I could literally never, your brain just goes to the worst sometimes. I was sitting there and I've never experienced having surgery before, and I'm sitting there and they're telling me all the things that could go wrong, and I'm like,
now it's sinking in.
You've never been under anesthesia?
No,
nothing.
never. I mean, look, I've been under like happy gas while they take my wisdom teeth out, but I was out in 15 minutes and I was fine.
You've been so positive up to this point, like I'm okay, let's just get it done.
Then it kind of just sit in. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna go under, and I don't know what I'm gonna look like when I come out of this, and I don't even know if I'm gonna be out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, they're telling you that, hey, this anesthesia can cause you to die. This can happen. If this reaction, do you want to donate your body? Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is not. And I was alone. Like, I wanted at least my mom or someone to be there to be like, it's okay, you just sign it. It's a protocol. I didn't know.
It's total protocol.
Why don't you think you texted your mom as soon as it happened? You didn't want to stress her out, you think?
To be honest, she had grabbed. Yeah, it happened so fast. She had also grabbed my phone. She's like, "Don't text anyone until I figure it out," type of thing. So it was more
Who said that?
My cousin. So it was a little bit of everything, and yeah, I don't. Like I said, if things were different, I would have handled it a lot better. But I mean, everything happened the way that it needed to happen, and
yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I think.
But you were scared and you're alone, and it's like,
yeah, I was alone. That's the thing. And I think because of that, like now looking at why I get such bad anxiety when I go into the hospital room is because I was alone during that whole thing, and I'm still having to be alone because of COVID, right? So it's just like that just gross feeling of like you don't know how you're gonna look when you come out of it type of thing, and like just being alone in the hospital is just very unsettling. I've had so many now that I'm like, I'm so good with it. I know that I get in, I go, I know step by step what they're gonna do, and
it's working because you look amazing. Like it's really
so
I watched
much.
we'll get to that, but your whole process, but it's like
it's a lot easier now than how it was back then.
I'm
sure. Just things that you do repetitively, it becomes easier, right? But yeah, at the time it was absolutely horrible, and the nurse came over to me and she's like, this should have never happened to you, and she starts crying, and I'm like, do I need to be crying right now? Like, I'm about to have a surgery and you're feeling bad for me? I'm like, tell me it's gonna be okay. Like, in my head I'm like, oh man, like this. Oh shoot. So she tells me that, and then the anesthesiologist, she was probably the best part. She's like, hey girl, what's up? I'm like, hey,
they're like the rock stars.
Yeah, she honestly was like
the
breath of fresh air. She came up to me and I'm looking at her upside down. She's like upside down over my face. She's like, all right, Brooklyn. She's like, you ever had a margarita? I'm like, She's like, it's about to feel like you just had 5. I'm like, all right. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't feel. Oh shit. And I was out. I felt it like that. And I remember waking up and I was freezing. I was like, and I felt so nauseous, and I just remember freezing, and then I was like getting covered by warm blankets, and I was like, oh, that feels kind of nice. But when I was cognate and I was like up a little bit more, the nurse was like, hey, I don't think you should look at yourself. Like, I really think you should just go home, kind of like settle down with like everything that's happened. And I was like, girl, like I've already seen the worst of it. Like I saw my face ripped up. Like, I think I'm okay to see it like sewed together. And she's like, all right, just
damn, they
serious.
were like that.
She looked scared, like for the reaction of how I was gonna be. And every time a nurse would come in, they were like, all right, so you're Brooklyn, like you're a model. And they were starting to like kind of feel bad because they were probably like, that's never gonna be able to happen again, type of thing. And at the time, obviously I'm like, oh man, like I really don't want to look at myself, because the image that I had in my head for 22 years of myself was so different than what I was seeing in the mirror, right? Yeah. So I mean, I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, like I looked crazy. I really did. Like I was like, oh my God, like this is actually insane. And I just was like, oh dude, that sucks. Yeah. They were like, we weren't allowed to reattach the lip. It had been off of ice for so long that it was absolutely dead. And if we did it, your body would have had a chance of rejecting it. So there's no point of like trying to do something that could have ended worse than how they needed to do it. So he basically took everything and just sewed it up. And then I waited, and I went to a lot of doctor's appointments to get to the doctor that I have now, who's like literally my best friend. He's the best.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. But it took a whole year. I went a whole year without having a lip, and I was I was so fed up with doctor's appointments. I was so fed up by getting rejected. I was so annoyed with the doctors not being or thinking out of the box.
Right.
Yeah.
I had like a lot of doctors, like, I know my body, right? I had like a spot up here that was like wet all the time. And I was like, I don't understand. I was like, I think it's the inside of my lip that he had sewn up. And they're like, no, that's impossible. And I was like, no, but you don't understand. Like, I think it's my saliva. Like, it's wet and it's slippery. Like, it's producing saliva. The only doctor that had told me that right when I had met him, he's like, that's actually really interesting. He's like, you have saliva on the outside of your mouth. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're the guy. You're the one.
So a piece of, for the listeners, so a piece of your lip, if they move it somewhere else, it's still going to be moist like that.
So he basically took it out from here to sew it up like this because it was hanging down. Like, there's pieces of the inside of my cheeks hanging down, right? So he had flipped it up like this to sew it into this so that it could be like together, so that there was no open blood, open wound. So I mean, it stayed like that for a year. It stayed wet like that. But I mean, it was cool. I don't know.
How did you find this doctor? Like, it was
oh my God. I mean,
how many doctors have you been through to get to this moment, you think?
I probably have talked to 30 different doctors, like all over the world, and I had to have specific doctors. It wasn't just like any plastic or any trauma. It was like it was like a microsurgeon. It had like a full name to it. And there was only like 10, 15.
So there were like doctors said maybe it worked on like cleft palates.
Right. But it was even more than that too, because it was trauma.
Yeah.
It was, a lip problem. It was also there was like a number of different things that.
A piece of your nose too?
Right. My nose, I needed somebody that like knew what they were doing with like the whole body and also how to deal with it with a trauma, because your face does react different, or any surgery that you have is, if you have a traumatic surgery, your tissues can shrink, like a lot of things can happen. Right. Yeah. So I had probably talked to like so many doctors, and I went through a lot of them.
Did you give him the mic? Speak on the mic, please.
Did your well, obviously, unlucky whatever happened, but not whatever, but what happened is unlucky. But I feel like in the instance that your bottom jaw is the only thing that moves in your mouth when you talk. So,
and your upper lip.
In your upper lip.
You know what? It was crazy though, because when I had gotten into the attack, I didn't realize how like I had to speak differently, because I couldn't pronounce my P's or my V's or my B's. Like, I literally sounded like B's, my P's and my V's, they all sounded the same. And I don't know if they still sound the same now, but I like have to pronunciate so much harder because there is no muscle in my upper lip, because it's just skin. So I'm having to like really just project it so much differently than I thought that I would. But yeah.
That was where did they take this skin graft from?
So they took it from the inside of my arm. And the reason why they did that was because that skin is the thinnest and the softest in the body. It was either that or my groin, towards down there, right? So I'm Middle Eastern. I'm like, okay, there's a difference between those two skins. Like, yeah, one is obviously like very close to like, they're both hairy, like regardless. I'm gonna be very blunt, right? Yeah. I'm like,
you're amazing.
I'm like, it's either like that kind of hair down there on my face, or like, let's just stick with the arm skin.
Yeah.
So we ended up going with the arm skin, and they actually, the interesting thing is they took a main artery, and they took that out, right? They attached it to my neck artery. They funneled it under here into my lip. So before this last surgery, like right when I would go in, right before I went in, I had all my friends over, and I was like, okay, touch my face, like touch on my lip, and I'll tell you exactly where you were touching. And they were doing the lightest, like lighter than a feather of a touch, and I was able to feel it and have the sensation too, because it wasn't just like a pressure touch. It was like I could really feel where they were touching my upper lip, which is really cool, because like when he first did it, I was like, there's no way that's gonna work. Like, I'm not gonna be able to feel my my lip, and it's crazy. But that's like probably one of the biggest questions. That's probably one of the questions I get asked the most, is just like, can you feel your lip? Like, what does it feel like? The answer is yes. I can.
And then like this is interesting. I don't know if you thought about this, but some women that have breast cancer and then they have stuff removed, Tim Hendricks tattoos new nipples on them.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Like, so what about maybe?
Oh,
would you
yeah.
thought about getting like a tattoo color on your lip?
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? Those like the nipple tattoo artists are actually insane. I've looked at so many. Their work is incredible.
Yeah.
It's 3D. It looks so real. It's
Tim Hendricks does that.
unbelievable. It's an
So you
art.
thought about that for color for your lip?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I saw you
yeah,
put
yeah,
lipstick on the other day.
Yeah, I was doing that as a joke. Yeah. It looked so awkward. So I was like, I just need to post this because it's so weird. It's so weird. I
Yeah.
haven't had that in, 2 years. So I will get my lip tattooed. That's like at the end
course.
of all the surgeries just to see how everything heals and then where to put it. You know what I mean? Like the dimensions of how my lip looked last or my old lip.
Right.
That old
Yeah.
guy. Yeah. Just trying to make it as similar as I can to this.
Did you get to keep the lip in like a little glass jar?
I wish. That'd be
That would
cool, huh?
Sick, right?
Like Frozen.
The medical world is unbelievable.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
It's insane.
It's insane.
What
It
they
is
did just now, her
insane.
arm and then the.
It's unbelievable. Like I'm in shock.
And you know
how
what?
incredible it is.
It is, honestly.
Yeah.
You're learning so much
It's-
too. You gotta be.
Oh my gosh. Like I remember one of the doctors, one of the many I talked to,
Right.
he was like, look, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this. And I was like, what are you going to tell me? I was so fed up with everything. I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't want to do the surgery. I don't like any of the doctors. I didn't feel safe with any of them or comfortable with any of the work that they've done. And a lot of them were like, I would talk to them. I'd say, hey, like, can you show me some of the work you did? He's like, oh, well, I went to Harvard and I graduated. And I was like, I don't care where you went.
man.
I'm like, I want to see like the visual art of what you've done. Like, honestly, that's all I cared about. And none of them were able to provide it. I
Wow.
remember looking at one of a girl similar to me. It was a woman, actually. She had cancer on her upper lip. So she had her full lip removed as well. And I remember being so excited. I was like, holy crap. Like I get to see somebody that has a similar case to me. And he flipped through the screen and he started chuckling. And I was like, what are you laughing about? And he was like, I can't show you. I never got to finish her. And I was like, what? He's like, she actually committed suicide. Like, and I was looking at him and I'm like, you just laughed? And I told my mom, I'm like, hang up with this guy. Like, I'm done. Like, you do not laugh about anything like that. And it was so sad because I was so excited to be able to really relate to someone, right? Because
Yeah.
the reason why I started posting on YouTube was because I was trying to look up somebody that had a similar issue to me, like anyone without an upper lip. I was searching for days, and I was like, when I couldn't find that, I was like, I'm gonna be that person. I remember telling my mom in the hospital, I was like, I'm gonna start vlogging, and I'm gonna be that person that if anything like this happens to anyone else, unfortunately, like if that happens, unfortunately, I want to be that person that they're like, she's getting through it and so can I. That's
love that.
the
That's
only
incredible.
reason why I started YouTubing.
Right.
And I wanted to YouTube before, but I was like, I don't have anything to talk to and my life is not that fun. So like not going to record it. And now I have a reason and a purpose
It's so beautiful,
to
man.
be doing that. Yeah.
Like
and-
just your fearlessness of just being out there about it and talking about it.
it's the best. And when people are able to relate to my story and give me their stories and talk to me about them, that's like the best feeling in the world because we are all struggling in one way or another. It's physically,
100%.
mentally, anyway. But being able to like share and talk about it, I feel like makes a lot of people feel less alone because
Yeah.
there's people out there going through shit. That's
doubt.
Yeah. With
That's
other people
it.
that have been attacked by dogs in the face reach out to you and stuff like that?
oh yeah, a lot. And
Wow.
usually it's cases that aren't as severe and they'll say that, but like it's still, I never am like, she doesn't even have it as bad as me. Like I'm like, thank you for sharing. Like
Yeah.
you went through it mentally
Right.
just as I'm going through it as well. So, and physically and anyway, but I'm like, dude, thank you for sharing. Like it means
Yeah.
a lot. It
Did
really
it fuck
does.
with your mental a lot in the beginning?
You know what?
Like, do you have to come to a place where you just come through, this is it, and this is the
No,
process?
you know what? I remember my dad. I love him, Middle Eastern. He's very like a tough, strict. He's been through a lot of things, but he's the nicest guy that you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah.
And I remember I just got out of a doctor's appointment, and I was like, damn, this sucks. Like this really sucks. This is the worst thing that is ever gonna happen in my life, and like I can't do what I want to do because of it. And my dad was like, what did you just say? I remember we were driving in the car and he's behind me and I'm like, what? And he's like, what did you just say? He's like, you know what, Brooklyn? He's like, you can go one or two ways about this surgery, this process, this thing that happened to you. He's like, one, he's like, you can go home every day, sit on the couch and feel bad for yourself. He's like, two, he's like, you can go out and do what you're gonna do and do it anyway. He's like, and do it better than what you thought you could do because nothing is stopping you. You have legs, you have arms, you can go and do what you need to do.
Amazing.
And I was like sitting there and I'm like, God, he's so right. But like in that moment, you're just like, dude, give me a minute. Like,
Yeah,
let me feel bad for myself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, I'm like sitting there and I was like,
That's so
wow.
cool, though,
and I'm
man.
not like saying it how he said it way better than
Right.
what
Yeah.
the way that I just said it. But I needed that, and it has stuck with me through this whole process.
Thanks, Dad.
Like, yeah,
That's
for real.
beautiful,
Thank
man.
you, Dad. Yeah.
Wow. This make you go harder too. It's
Right. Like, I'm like, oh man, he's so right. Like, I could, and we all can.
Yeah, of
We
course.
choose every day when we wake up to like make it a good day. And regardless of what we're going through, we like have to wake up every day, and it's a choice to be happy. I think it is 100%. We can let things affect us, or we can put them aside and deal with them as they come. But I mean, I was like, man, that was a good piece of information.
It really is,
Yeah.
man.
I was like, wow.
No
so
doubt.
You seem
that's
like
what I
you-
live by, honestly.
Right.
Have you always been like a positive person like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Always my
I'm
whole
sure
life.
that helped tremendously during this
It
whole
did.
time.
And you know what?
Absolutely.
This is
Yeah.
like, it was one of those things that happened that I never understood why it was happening. And then I was like, that's why it happened. I got made fun of so much in middle school and high school. I was like, not so much in high school, but like elementary, middle school, I was always made fun of. I went from a Christian school to a public school. I didn't know how to dress. I didn't have like much of a style. Like, I'd been going from wearing uniforms every day to like hand-me-down clothes because I didn't have any on my own. So like,
Wow.
I was just wearing t-shirts and my soccer shorts, and that's all I knew. And everyone made fun of me for something. Like, it was always something, and I never let it affect me because I was like, my mom would always say, like, they're just jealous of you, Brooklyn. Like, you got to continue on with your day. Like, they're just saying that because they're trying to break you down, right?
True.
And I swear, like, at the time, like, I would write in my journal, like, I don't know why this is happening to me. Why are they making fun of me? There's other girls that look like me. Like, what? Like,
Kids can
Wow.
be so
Kids are
mean.
fucking
So
They're so
mean.
cruel, man.
oh my
Cruel.
gosh.
know.
For real.
I love your
So-
orange beanie style now.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
that's
Yeah,
your-
now I got some fashion.
Though. That's like your signature thing, like your orange.
I swear, I love beanies.
Yeah, but your orange one you rock a lot.
Do I? Okay,
I
good.
think that- it's a good vibe.
All right. I look like Halloween right now, so I'm
That's okay.
excited. But yeah, I remember that happening, and now like it just built my backbone so strong that like anybody can say anything, and I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. Like, I'm sorry you feel like that. Like, I don't think that way, so that sucks for you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and that had to happen for me to just like be this like positive, I don't care what I look like type of human. Because I think that if I had not been made fun of and society really got the best of me, I would be 100% different mentally than I am now.
100%, man.
Yeah.
It made you so much stronger, thicker skin, all that to get through all this stuff.
100%. Yeah.
So how many more surgeries do you have, and is there like a vision you have of how you want it to be?
No, no, honestly, ever since the surgery, like I never was like, I need to look how I was once before. Cause
Right.
like I
Like,
had
is that
reality.
your same lip you had before, same style?
No, I don't,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't
yeah,
really
yeah,
look
yeah.
at old pictures, to be honest with me.
Yeah.
Like right when the accident happened, like it was like a rebirth of myself. Like
Okay.
not like weird, like whatever, but I was just like, this is a different me and this is
Yeah.
what I got to deal with. I'm not going to dwell on the past. I'm not going to wish that I look like how I used to, because in the reality, that's never going to happen. Right. So I think I had reality set in very early on in this
yeah.
process where I was like, I'm not going to have an expectation of how I want to look. I honestly, the only expectation that I have is that I can go out in public and people are less judgmental, because every day it's always something. And I'm telling you, like, if I did not have that, like, I don't care personality,
It never affected you once?
society would break me down. It affected me once the other day, actually.
The other day.
This was like the first time that somebody like looking at me affected me. I had just gotten the last surgery, so I was stitched up and I forgot that I had stitches on, but I was walking outside and I had a mask on in my hand just in case I walk by someone. I don't want to make anybody like, you know, some people don't like stitches. I want to respect everybody.
Yeah.
And it's on my face and it does look a little swollen and crazy when I first get surgery. But I was walking and I remember I looked at this guy. I was on Melrose and I looked at this guy's outfit and I was like, oh my God, I love those pants. Like, and I was looking at his pants and he looked at me and he gave me the craziest stare and got everybody in the shop to look at me. And he pointed at me and he was like, what the hell? What the hell? And I remember looking at that and I was like, not today. Like I was
Right.
like, oh my gosh, like, or I was having the best day. Like I woke up and I was like, great, I'm healing, I'm here. I'm like, hell yeah. And that happened. And I was literally like I walked home trying not to cry. And like,
Oh,
it was
man.
just one of those things where I'm like, dude, like society's not used to having someone look different. And beauty standards, especially in LA, are very high. And
But it's also 2022, and there's been all types of people in this world. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
There's still
100%.
like
All kinds of
idiots
things that
out
happen to
there.
people.
There's a lot of idiots out there.
Yeah,
that,
there
you know,
is.
that
Like, yo, fuck
hasn't
your outfit.
changed.
Yeah, I literally looked at those pants and I was like, if I ever see someone else in them, like
Yeah.
I was so mad at him. I was like, they're not even cute. Like,
So that's like the first time you really felt like, gee.
I mean, look, like I've felt it before, but like it'll get to me and then I kind of snap out of
Yeah.
it. But that was like the one thing where I was like, dude, F you. Like I was literally complimenting your pants in my head and like now you're making fun of me. Like
Right.
I was just like angry. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, I got in my head and I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, why am I going through this? Why is it me? And then I was like, shook it off and I was like, you're going through this for a reason, Brooklyn. Like you don't
Yeah.
know right now, but you'll know one day. And you just gotta like chill and
Yeah.
just go with it. And that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years. I'm
It's-
like, nah.
It's so crazy, like the things like the bullying and the negative shit that happened to you as a kid in school, how it becomes something. It's like a positive shield when you get older and you go through
Yeah,
some real
it
shit. Like,
definitely-
you know what I'm saying? Like how that,
Without a doubt.
like that
you
shit
know.
totally failed. Like you trying to bully somebody and hurt them feelings.
Were you bullied as a kid in school? Do you remember?
No, he was a cool guy looking.
No, stop.
That's good.
No. You know what? I get fucked with mostly in high school because I didn't drink. For sure, like
Okay.
this is like
Yeah.
goody two
Right,
shoes. Like,
right.
oh, they said it was gay because I didn't have a girlfriend.
Okay.
I was going to take my skateboard to the prom, but I did go to the prom with Shelly Shackley, and I was the prom king breakdancing. But
Nice.
leading up to, I never had a girlfriend. All I cared about was skateboarding. I wanted to be
Right.
a pro skater. I always had my board. So like, if people said I was whatever,
Yeah.
but it didn't really. But I also like. Fuck those people anyway, but then I don't know. But
Yeah.
then you're punk rock and you're skateboarding, like fuck everybody what they think, you know what I mean? That was really instilled in me young, like fuck what people think about you. This is who you are.
Yeah.
You know. Obviously, then you fast forward to social media, there's like 1,000 positive
No,
comments
it's a
and
very-
one negative
it's-
one
it's
that
very-
Right.
fucks you up for
Oh
the day.
yeah.
But
Even
yeah,
though they're a
but-
stranger.
But a totally different time period, you know.
Totally
We
different.
are.
I mean,
What about you, bullied?
yeah.
Well, we
yeah.
talked about that too, like
I absolutely was bullied.
being into skateboarding, having dreads, all that.
Skateboarding, dreads, black,
Punk
white,
rocker.
whatever, you know, like it came from every facet of life. You
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
I was just like,
Exactly.
why am I getting?
If
you
it's
know,
not one thing, it's the other, right?
right,
Yeah.
and then you start to have that thought, like, why me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why me? But then I think with me as well, the music really helped. Like
Oh,
once I
yeah.
got into it,
Totally,
and I
dude.
got
Oh yeah.
my head around, like, you know what? I don't know these people. These are strangers.
Facts.
These are people that mean nothing to me.
Right.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, so their opinion shouldn't have that much bearing that it does. And it's just like, you know what? I'm much happier when I'm around people that I love and people that believe in me, and I go off of that energy. That's the
Exactly.
reality.
Oh yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I think. That's what I think that I've had to do too as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can sit on Instagram and look at all the
Right.
nice things, all the nice comments that people make, and then there's that one bad one, right? And you're just like, dude, why? Like, what did I do to you?
You
Like,
don't even know me.
I don't
Right.
even know you, and you have 5 followers, and not that
Right.
followers matter, but
It's
like,
always that
in your
way,
private
though.
account.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
get out of here. Like, don't be commenting that shit on my page. I'm
Right.
out here trying to,
But there are those type of people that are
but
out
I
there
feed
that
off
spit,
of that.
Right.
And they're
I feed
fucking
off of
hateful
that.
and they're insecure. But I feed off
Because-
it too. Yeah.
But I feel bad for them. I'm
I
like,
know,
you
me
literally
too.
have no life
Right.
to be
They
coming
have-
on someone's page that is trying to be
Exactly.
a positive, and you're just like, oh, you're ugly. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like,
It's
that's your
sad.
opinion,
And our
right?
time
Like,
is so precious on this planet. You realize when you get older too, like
Yeah.
you're wasting time out of your day to talk shit.
And these people
Yeah.
are doing this consistently.
oh,
all day
all the
long.
You know,
time.
they're just like sucked into that.
Yes, I've one person on my account, and I was like, I'm not even gonna block you because I'm not even gonna give you that satisfaction because that's
Right.
probably what you want, right?
Yeah.
He sends me messages probably once a day. That's like, you should kill yourself. That dog should have killed you. Fuck you for saying pit bull. Like, he goes off, and I'm
Yo.
like, if you look at my page and you look at every YouTube that I've ever posted, I have only said the breed once, because if I did not say the breed, everybody would be asking me, right? It's like,
Right,
if I
right.
don't say it, somebody's gonna want to know, why aren't you saying anything? So I said it was a pit bull that attacked me. This is what happened. That's the facts of what happened. Like,
Yeah.
I have gotten so much shit for saying pit bull, and not once have I spoken poorly about it. All I said was,
Interesting.
this is what happened. And you will be blown away at the messages that I get from pit bull
Right.
protectors. Like, I am not out here saying not one word. All I said was what happened, because people would be curious.
that's what
if you don't.
happens.
Right. Like, yeah, exactly. You either
People
say too
hate
much
on
and you
the
get in
truth.
trouble, or you
Yeah.
don't say anything and you still
Right.
get in trouble. So it's like, I literally said exactly what happened, and that's, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy.
There's a saying that says what people think about you is their business. I love that.
I like that too.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's like unless you're my boy like this, we're friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if it's some strange on the internet, like, oh, you this, you that. It's like, really, dude? And nobody will ever say shit to your face in real life ever.
Exactly.
I realize that as I
Right.
get older.
Oh,
Nobody.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, they
In
won't
real
at
life.
all. which is good because I wish they would.
I
I did get people in Orange County. I was sitting and drinking coffee and I had a mask on and I had a black eye. And I remember she walked up to me and she's like, "What the hell's wrong with your face?" And I looked at her and I was like, I was with my 2 friends drinking coffee.
Wow.
I've gotten this a lot though. Everybody that's
Really?
with me. Oh, I listen, this attack, this journey, I have realized how much people love not minding their own business. Like seriously, they have been so like in my business, wanting to know. There was a dad. Okay, sorry. This woman was like, "What the hell's wrong with your face?" And I was just like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, I got beat up." And she's like, "Of course you would," and walked away. I was joking with her because I had a black eye. This was my first surgery. I was like 2 days out of the hospital, like dizzy when I stood up, just sitting and having coffee. Like I probably looked like a zombie. And then another time, I was in Disneyland and I was sitting. I was waiting on Splash Mountain. I'm waiting to get on. This dad with a 2-year-old who I can guarantee you does not speak, turns around. He goes, "Hey, my son wants to know what happened to your face." I said, "Your son?" Who he's holding. And my girlfriend was with me. And he's like, "Yeah, he wants to know what happened to your face." I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, I got attacked by a dog." And he looked at me and he turned his kid around. He's like, "Why would you say that?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Why would you say that you got attacked by a dog? We're trying to make him have a good relationship with dogs. He's scared of them." And I literally looked at him and I was like, "Dude, what did you want me to say?" Like, like, oh my gosh, like people don't stay. It's insane.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
man.
and it's
The
like
audacity, man.
really no,
Humanity,
seriously,
jeez.
humanity, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, what did you want me to say?
Make up a story what happened, like.
Yeah.
These people are crazy.
And he was so mad. He wasn't just like, "Dude, hey, do you mind not saying," like, he was like, "Why would you say that?" And I was like, "I don't know what you want me to say. Like, you asked me, like, turn around."
It's not your business. It's like, dude.
Turn around. Yeah, it was. So that the response from this attack has been absolutely insane.
Yeah, you see the world in a different set of eyes than you did before. And
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I was raised as a young person that like if you see anyone that has anything, my mom would call it special or different about them, like you mind your own business and you treat them like a human. You don't go out of your way to make them feel uncomfortable or different in their skin. Like
it's definitely in an upbringing that some
Yeah.
of these people
100%,
have. It's just so
100%. And it's
horrible.
more
passion and love, man.
exactly. That's all you can give. And it's more hate than love nowadays.
It's really
and
just super aggressive and hateful. It's
sad.
Because everybody has a place to
Super
say it.
sad.
Everybody has a platform.
I don't know.
Everybody
They
has.
feel that they need to.
Yeah, and they have to-
I don't
yeah.
know
They
why
feel like they have the right to know, too.
Exactly.
That's
the
Right.
thing.
And it's just like you don't. You
No.
know, it's
And people think they don't stink. Like they
Right.
think they're this holy person. It's
And nobody's perfect, man. It's
No, not at
have
all.
there been like doctors that have come out now that are like, "Yo, this is incredible"? Like who did like
yes,
that's cool.
yes.
Right.
I've had a lot of plastic surgeons come up to me and they've gone, "Hey, are you the girl that got attacked by a pit bull?
Yeah.
I've seen your case, and
must be.
I wanted to work on you, but like I didn't know what I was gonna do. You
I'm
look
sure
incredible."
they came out of the woodwork like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
I would've loved
and
to
you know
chat."
what? The medical, like, it is such a small community.
Yeah.
Like, it seems so big, right? But
Yeah.
no, all plastic surgeons know each other. They're all connected in one way or the other. They're all on a freaking email, like, sending mass emails out to each other. To ask for help and to like help coordinate how to plan a surgery and what to do
That's
and
cool.
give advice. So it is a very cool community. I really like the medical
Yeah.
industry right now. Would I ever do something with that? I've had doctors like, "Hey, you know what? I can't help you, but would you ever want to be in the medical industry when you grow up?" I'm like, "No, I don't." Like,
Right.
I want to be far from it, but I've learned so much. And I don't even think that I said the one advice that the doctor gave me was, "Hey, this is the one piece of advice I'm going to give you. Like, I don't have the right technique to work on you, but I want to give you one piece of advice that I think is going to help." And I was like, "Okay, what?" He's like, "Learn about your face." He's like, "Learn about every muscle in your face surrounding your mouth so that you can walk into that doctor's appointment with whoever you're going to talk to and see if they know what they're talking about." And I was like, wow.
And
He's
have
like,
you done that?
"Oh yeah, are you kidding me?" I was watching every type of YouTube video. I was looking up medical stuff because I would try to talk to doctors and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I went to Harvard." And I was like, "All right, well, have you ever done any face work on the blah 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 on the left commissure?" And they would be like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Wow.
yeah."
I mean, it's exciting because I think the I mean, it looks so incredible, and I know that the technology is going to be around with like 3D stuff that I see that they're
yeah.
making. So
Sure.
this is really something that I
what?
think that's happening so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where
of
it's just
course.
like, yo, we have an image of your, face. we were able to create the
Yeah.
exact, it's fascinating.
It's insane. But you know what? You would think that it was moving fast, right? With
Right.
technology. The medical is not. They've been doing this type of work for the last... My doctor literally sent me a picture yesterday. It's from 1919. And a guy literally is going through exactly what I was going through, that actually got shot in the face, but was missing his whole upper lip, parts of his jaws. But
Wow.
he looked in every stage like similar to my case, like just very... bulky, and then thinning down,
Right.
and then so it's interesting, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
think like when I walked in, I was like, what about this? Okay,
Yeah,
what about
yeah.
stem cell? And they're like, we already thought about that, but we can't. So I mean, I was doing my own research because I was like, I'm gonna be smarter than them.
Right,
like I
right.
wanted to be smarter than them. Like
yeah.
no, like they're
Yeah,
studying, they're
yeah,
doing their
yeah.
thing, but I wanted somebody, like I had been saying it since I got into the attack. I was like, whatever doctor I have, I want them to be so artsy. Like I want to feel like their art project.
Yeah.
The first doctor appointment that I had, my doctor walked in. He goes, hey, you mind if I take a face mold of you? I got this from the arts craft supply store. I'm like, please, yes. Like, I love you. You're my guy.
Right.
Like, yeah, like everything I asked for was in this doctor. And like, I prayed about it and I was like, God, please just like bring something to my life that's like what I want. And dude, patience. That's all
Wow.
I'm going to say. Yeah, it took a long time, but
Are you happy where you're at right now with how it looks?
yeah, I think I'm very happy. I
Yeah,
am.
like seeing your real
It's-
life is just like, wow.
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. It's crazy.
And I feel like the last 2 years I've been like blacked out from what I look like mentally.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm just checked out, and that like what I see in the mirror is like, it is what it is. But I'm also like, hey, it's not going to be like this forever, right? I've been saying that for the last 2 years. But I have recently went back and looked at pictures that my doctor has been sending me, and I'm like, it is insane. Like,
Yeah.
I literally looked at a picture last night and I was like, there is no way that I looked like that. Like, it's just crazy to see the growth that have been, going through, and like how crazy I've looked within the span of 6 months. Like
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
different I looked in every picture. And I will show you guys, because it's insane. Like just
Yeah.
the difference that all the differences that I've gone through, to be honest. And my favorite part of all the surgeries was my nose job, because I didn't think that my nose looked as bad as it did until after I got the surgery, where I was like, oh my God, the whole bottom part of my nose was gone.
Mm-hmm.
All the cartilage, the base
It
of my
looks
nose.
incredible.
I know.
So it's so nice. Thanks, Dr. Doe. Yeah,
Dude.
he really did some magic on
These
that.
guys
So
are mad. It's
incredible.
incredible.
And
Yeah.
do they know how many more you need?
So I should have one more, but I always say 2 in my brain, so I don't like get like
Yeah,
disappointed.
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, 2. But I mean, he's saying 1 more, but in my mind, I'm like 2, 3.
Did
Just-
they put you fully under?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna ask you.
Oh my.
Now you've been under a million times.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you
Oh, it
guys a
happened to me once
question.
just recently, yeah.
How long do you think my first surgery was?
Oh my God! I can't.
10 hours.
13.
20.
20 hours.
20
Oh my.
hours?
You
I was
you-
under anesthesia for 20 hours.
That's what?
Oh
Did
my
they switch?
God.
I mean, what?
No, it was my doctor, and I was like, "Did you eat a snack?" Like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I had some chocolate." I'm like, "All right, dude."
20 hours.
20
Oh
hours.
my God!
I don't even know.
What
Like
the
How
that.
do you
hell
feel
they
coming out of
talk
that? That
about?
must be.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
I
Who
was.
am I?
That one was messed up because I was in the ICU for 3 days, and then I
Oh,
got moved
man.
down a unit. So like, I was in the hospital for 6 days, and I hate the hospital. So
Yeah.
that was like
Too,
the
man.
worst place for me to be after a huge surgery. You want to be in your bed or like
course.
comfortable, right? Like you don't want to be in a surgery with nurses that like kind of are just being paid to be there type of thing. But like,
Doing their job,
no,
yeah.
no, they honestly, like nurses have the hardest job, and I really, really, really,
Yeah,
I just want the best for all of them. They
Yeah.
have a
absolutely.
the things that they have to deal with is insane. But
Especially the past 2 years, too, man.
oh my God.
that.
So
Yeah.
I the nurses
20 hours.
20 hour
20
surgery.
hours.
Yeah. And when I woke up from that, this is like a TMI totally, but this is just like in perspective. Like I'd been on my period for 2 days, right? I go into the surgery and I wake up and I'm like, I got to change my pad. And she's like, no, you don't. You're off of it. And I was like, no, I'm not, because I woke up at 5:32, 2 days later, right? So I'm thinking like it was that same night because I'd gone in
Right.
at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm
Wow.
like, they're like, no, it's the 21st. And I was like, it's the 17th. Like y'all are really like trying to mess with me. Like, what are you guys, like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's the 17th. Like it's the night of my surgery. And she's like, you've been asleep for 2 days. And I was like, Like, I'm like, no way. Like, and I'm like, I need to, change my pad or whatever. And she's like, you're not on your period anymore. It's 2 days. So that was weird for me to sit in because I don't remember any of that. The anesthesia completely took out my memory before too. Like, I remember one thing, and it was me walking from the room going into the pre-op, and like my mom couldn't come with me. And I just remember like all the fear sat in right when those doors opened. And I was like, I'm going to be alone. I'm going into a surgery and I don't know how I'm going to look when I wake up. Like, I was so scared. And I remember looking at my mom and I just started bawling. And that was my literal last memory. I don't remember anything after that. Man. Not one thing. Yeah. And then I was miserable. I was miserable in the hospital for those 6 days. Man. I was asking the nurse, I'm like, how far do you think this drop is? Like, I wanted to get out of the building. I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave. I was not happy. And I am so thankful for my parents and my girlfriend because they had to put up with all of my shit. Like, I remember one day I was like, I need to go home. I need to go home. I need to go home the whole day. That's all I did.
No, so
I didn't have any drugs, no.
How'd you know?
Because that's everybody's question. So during the surgery, they had a fentanyl drip in my leg. And my backstory is in high school, I did anti-drug club where I went to schools and worked with the Orange County sheriffs to talk about drugs and the dangers of drugs. So I learned about fentanyl way before, and they would tell me like, it's going to be huge like it is now. Right. Wow. So, and I didn't know, nobody knew what fentanyl was back then. We didn't know about that 5-6 years ago. Right. No. But now it's, left and right. But, my mom has known about like that. I just do not like that stuff. I do not mess with it. And she saw that fentanyl drip and it said fentanyl on the bag. And my mom freaked out and was like, told the nurse, she's like, you need to take that out of her leg. If she wakes up and sees that, she's going to be so upset. Like, and so my mom was like my advocate while I was out, and they took that out. Yeah, for real. So aspirin. I get that Tylenol drip through that IV, and that's it.
That's what our probably use too.
I
mean,
they're super like heavy on drugs. It's scary. Yeah, wait, what were you gonna say? You just got
easy. No, I had a colonoscopy finally, because I'm. Did you get yours yet? No, I didn't talk about that. I got it was the first time going under, and I was so shook. I canceled it 5 times.
Oh yeah.
My friend bet me $1,000 I would cancel. I got it. He gave me $1,000 cash, which was great. I got it. I got put under. I was so fucking scared. The first drugs I've ever done. But it was fast, and I recommend everybody do it if you're in your 50s. Start with my boy Derek. But we have to do it in your 50s. But anyway, it was scary. Yeah. It was scary.
Oh, it's so scary. It's like, it's like
just having no control.
It's like the fear of unknown. Right. Yeah. Nope. I'm good.
But man.
Yeah. But man.
The human body is so resilient. After getting injured and everything, it's incredible though to hear these stories, and I think it's so important that you speak on it. I commend you, because it actually seems like, like you're talking about, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a purpose. It's like, this is such a strong.
You're like, that is your purpose.
I was like, this. I was like, I can feel it. I was
something just traumatic that turned into.
Yes. I mean, it can help so many people.
It is crazy because when I was 14 years old, I remember watching a public speaker and I was like, oh my God, their story is beautiful. Like, I remember writing my journal, like, I want to do that, but I have nothing to talk about. Same with the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Literally the same thing about a public speaker. Now I'm like, I could do that. I would love to do that. I would love to talk about, because
I just want to say
you can.
I just want to say, by your energy, you could have done that if there wasn't this trauma too.
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, because your energy and your positivity.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Best compliment.
Yeah. But this next level, you know what I mean?
Just like,
Thank you.
Because you're sharing with the world like all the time. People see
the universe is crazy, man. Like to go through. I mean, man.
Yeah, no, it's been insane, but it's also been, I don't want to say a blessing in disguise, but I think you learn a lot about yourself in this type of situation, right? Where like you just have different eyes on your body, like you were saying, like you just have a different set of eyes for the world, and you just have so much more compassion for everything that's going on around you. And I don't want to say that it's a blessing, but it's definitely been something that I've coped with and that I'm okay with happening, because if I can help one person in the world, then that is the reason why I'm going through this, to help that one person. And that's literally all I could ask for.
Yeah,
thank you.
More than one.
Thank you.
For sure.
So now, what's your mission besides sharing that journey? I know you're skating and you're doing all kinds of things, and music too, which we can't forget about music.
Oh my gosh!
I listened to your song, "The Waiting for You," featuring Nate.
You know what?
You have a great voice. And did you sing ever before this?
Yeah, I always would sing.
Yeah?
I did a talent show in 5th grade.
Nice.
Got literally so made fun of. That was the making fun of stage.
Fuck
so
all these fucking
yeah,
bullies, bro.
Whoa,
I will
Dude, listen
never.
right now, man.
Hey,
I will-
Okay,
I hate
okay.
bullies.
No,
bro.
but I told myself, I was like, I will never sing in front of anybody again because of the response that I got. So I have not sang at all. And I told my friend Nate, who has a studio. That's my phone. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You have a great voice, man.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, what got you back into it after?
Because I told myself that, like, hey, you know what? I want to make a song. I've always wanted to make a song. I was like, I'm just going to do it. I write all the time.
Nice.
Like, that song, though, that nobody knows was, yeah, you can oh, yeah, thanks.
It's your alarm.
Sorry.
And then you did a song. Then you were a guest on his song as well.
So, yeah, so I...
Feeling Again.
My bad.
And then, Waiting
yeah,
for
I
You.
wrote that. We wrote that song, and I write a lot of songs, like I said, but I don't ever sing them. I don't ever record them. So he's like, why don't you just come in? And I remember being in the mic, and I was like, and like, but that's how I sang the song. Like, I did not
Right.
open my voice. That is not the potential that I ever sing. Like, I'm very much a loud singer.
Right.
I
You
am.
was nervous? Or was-
Yeah, like, why do I want to sing in front of you? Like, I don't want to do this. Like, you know, I was not comfortable in what I am, but now I'm like, I want to make another song, and I want to do that. But yeah, I just was like, oh no, like that's, I hated it. I had to cover myself up. I was literally in the corner, like covering the mic, literally talking like, and he's like,
Isn't that crazy?
you need
But-
to sing. I'm
but
like,
you're so
I can't,
open.
I am.
But you're so open with your face.
I
You
am.
know what's interesting about that though is that she's nervous and doesn't want to be serious sing, but at the same time he's so open about your face, everything that happened to you.
Yeah, because I'm
to
not
the
singing.
world. I know, but you have a great voice though, man.
Thank you. I love
Do you want to
music.
pursue that?
That's one of the things that I love. Like, if it's not me singing, it's doing something with music. I
Okay.
absolutely.
Ghostwriter.
God, I love music. No, I just, it's so good. That's why I'm like so surprised that I've never listened. I mean, metal, punk. I'm
Now,
not
what
like.
do you listen to? Like,
I
what's
listen to 50s music.
Besides
yeah.
that, what about
Frank Sinatra,
Yeah.
Etta James.
Ooh,
they're
Etta James.
they're so good. Aretha Franklin. I feel like those songs when I listen to them, I'm like, they had so much emotion, and now
Yeah,
it's like
Absolutely.
sex,
Passion.
drugs, and money, and I'm like,
So do
Come
you fuck
on.
with current music, hip hop, or anything else?
I can listen to it and I like it. When I am doing anything active, yeah, I'll put something like that on. But like just the songs that I love to listen to is like emotion songs. Like I love feeling and listening and being like, wow, they're depressed. I like that. It's cool.
Kind of like
You know
this
what I
too.
mean?
I
Yeah.
get happy hearing depressing songs.
Yeah, and my girlfriend's like, "Why are you listening to this?" I'm like, "It gives me joy." They're like,
Yeah.
literally talking about a breakup. I'm like, "Yeah, but it's nice." Like
Yeah.
the way they
Getting
sing
it
that
out.
is so
And
nice.
they're getting it out, you know. It's like
Yeah.
they're releasing that. and
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
Exactly. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that is their therapy. Like that's
Yes.
their
Yeah,
journaling,
it's
right?
therapeutic for sure.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So nice. Yeah.
What about
so,
skating too? Do you want to keep pursuing that? And
Yeah, I mean that's like more of like the hobby thing. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because
Did you ever want to be a pro though?
no, I just liked it because
Yeah.
I liked it, and I was, I think, trying to prove something to myself. So if anything, it's, hey, you can do anything you set your mind to type of thing. So
Like singing as well?
okay.
No, I'm serious.
I'll
'cause-
see you in the
I
studio.
need to check it out.
yeah, it's really good.
No,
music.
no.
I was like, yo,
And
this
you
girl
kn-
sings too. Like,
No, you know what's interesting though? I didn't have my upper lip in that song, so I had to change the lyrics
That's what I was
because
going to ask you.
oh my god, dude, it sounded. I mean, I would sing a word, right, and it sounded so crazy because of the lip, because I was not able to pronounce it. It was like
Right.
Okay.
P's and V's, like it sounds very different, right?
Interesting.
Then when I got this, I still haven't recorded or done any new songs, but I was like, wow, I definitely should do it now. And I wanted to take
Yeah.
that song down, and everyone around me was like, you did that when you didn't have a lip, like, and it sounds good. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
but I don't know. I just, I feel like artists are very critical on themselves. I wouldn't call
True.
myself an artist, but like I'm saying, like people that put their stuff out they're always self-conscious. They always want to do
100%.
better. Their voice is always, not good to them. I mean,
yeah, I'm a worst critic too
Yeah.
about music and shit.
Jimi
like-
Hendrix was the same way. He thought he had a horrible voice.
I hate my
Really?
voice.
Yeah.
Damn, he was wrong.
I know, very wrong.
But
But it's for the people to think like they're the ones that's supposed to like.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary. I mean, it's a different instrument from all the other instruments because it's coming from your
you.
body. Yeah.
Right. I feel like if I was chilling with a guitar in the corner, I'd love that. Yeah.
Right.
Like, give me that.
Yeah.
Like, let me just rock over here. But I mean, being like the center of
Yeah.
the
It's a lot of attention.
it is. Yeah. You
And-
guys, how do you deal with that?
I don't know, I get nervous still, man.
Do you?
Before I go on, you don't get nervous before you go on stage?
I get really.
He just got off a
I get
3-month tour. Look
excited.
at him.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
get excited.
Yeah, it's more of excitement than it is
Yeah.
anxiety. It's like And then once you get on the stage, it's like it all goes away.
Yeah, totally.
But you guys have a band with you, right? So like you're
Yeah.
going in with an
True.
army, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like if I were to perform that song on stage, I wouldn't feel comfortable because it would just be me singing like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like if I had a punk song, it would be fun to perform because everybody's hyped up, like
Yeah.
and you're just singing in a little depressing song. It's like, it's a different vibe, I think. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice though too though.
yeah, no,
Just have a
100%.
guitar.
Yeah.
I definitely like to.
Wish I could do that.
just-
Wish I played guitar. I could do like acoustic.
I think you have time to do that.
Learn how to play
Do you
guitar.
play
still do
guitar?
it.
Nah, I should learn though.
You should,
But you can
100%.
still get up. Your brother can play, and then you could sing and just be like one on
The
one.
Morse brothers.
The
just
Morse brothers.
Just do acoustic
I
stuff.
could see that.
I would like to do that. Play
You
an
should.
instrument. Yeah.
All right. Well, if
Um,
you do that, I'd love to be there.
I'd like to introduce the Morse brothers. Come on up.
Country.
I don't know
Let's
why
all
you went to a
welcome the
country
yeah. The Morse brothers.
I think
Brother
I-
Morse brothers are coming up here. We're gonna do a little ditty for you all here.
I think I.
a little
That'd
ditty.
be
A little ditty.
Oh yeah, all three boys.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
my two older brothers.
This
Oh my
is-
god.
this is coming
Um,
Yeah, I
together.
should do it. An
Yeah.
acoustic.
I think I know the
Yes.
answer. For
Acoustic
I think I know
country.
the answer for this,
Yeah.
but do you have any regrets in your life?
Wait, I
You seem
think
like
I
a
have.
person that don't, but I don't know.
I feel like I might have one.
Okay.
Let me think.
Okay. It's always a tricky question.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's
Think
really
about it.
tricky. Like I'm gonna get in my car later and be like, "That's the one thing that I regret that I just remembered." It's always like when you ask me something,
Yeah.
you never have the answer to it.
No, that's all right.
I don't
totally
regret
good.
anything because I feel like everything that has happened in my life happened in the way that it needs to get me to where I am right now, right? But I think regrets, no, I don't know. Yeah, right?
But then again.
Oh my gosh.
So no,
The
that's
final
good.
countdown.
Oh, shit. That's her style of music. But I think, that makes sense for you. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I could sit here and be like, "Oh, I wish I did this differently," but at the end of the day, like I can't reverse time and change it. So, I want to say like I regret maybe going to Arizona. I could say that, right? Like,
Right.
but then I wouldn't be where I am today with being able to connect to people and share my story. So I don't regret
Yeah.
that at all.
Did you ever dwell upon that, like woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Oh, of course,
for a long
yeah,
time? Yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever try to blame stuff on yourself too?
No, because I didn't do anything.
No, I know. No, but some people mentally can flip it like, why'd I go there? I shouldn't have went there. Shouldn't
No,
went,
yeah, no, I
wait in the
agree.
car.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that you can go through that, but it only kills you inside because it's like,
Sure.
dude, you could sit there. I could sit here and talk to you for 2 hours about all the things that I could have done instead of going to that house, right? But at the end of the day, like, whatever happened was going to happen. It could have been worse. What if that dog slept with me at night and it attacked me? You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of things that I
Right.
think about because there is a video of the dog jumping on the bed. And she was saying that like, hey, he really likes to cuddle. And I was like, nah, I don't want to sleep with the dog.
Yeah.
And thank God, because who
Yeah.
the hell knows what it could have been so much worse. And dogs like that, when they attack, they like pull you down to go through your throat. So
yeah.
like,
And do you have a fear of dogs now?
Great
no,
question.
I love dogs. That's it. I
Nice.
go to the dog park every day.
Nice.
I like to pet those little furry guys. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I seriously enjoy animals a lot. But like I said earlier, I am a little more cautious around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and-
it.
But it's just so bizarre that this dog just snapped like that. That
I
was
know.
the first time.
Yeah, but to be honest, everyone that I've talked to, everyone that's shared their stories, it's always been a pit bull, which is the stereotype that they have,
Yes.
which we don't want to, give them or have that whatever. But
And this wasn't a rescue dog.
no, they've had it since it was
Okay, you
a
Is the
said
dog
that.
still around?
baby.
Go. Pull the mic to yourself.
Did you ever see the dog again?
No.
Great
Did
question.
they put it down?
So the animal patrol came into me, and this is what I mean by
Great question, Max.
that was a very good question because that's a very common question that I get. One of the things that happened when I was in the emergency room is I was sitting down and the nurse was with me. Her name was Lisa. I don't know where she is in life right now, but she saved my life. She was so funny. She had the same personality as me. Like we were just joking the whole time I was in the hospital. But the animal patrol came in and she looked at him and he was like, is this the girl that got attacked? And she literally went, no shit. She's like, what do you need from her? Like, talk to me outside. Like, she was like my little protector.
Wow.
And she was like, no shit. Like, and I started laughing because I was like sitting there like my face is all ripped up. No, I did not see the dog. But I told my cousin that he had the right to keep it alive if he wanted to. I was giving him like full, like I was like, this
Yeah,
is your
goosebumps, man.
situation. No, I would never
Wow.
want to. I love my dog. You love your dog.
Yeah.
If anything happened to your dog, you would be destroyed. So I was like, hey, you can do whatever you want. Keep that dog away from people, because if this happens to anybody else, dude, for real. And he was like, I don't want to keep it alive. He was like, I don't feel comfortable with it being in my house after seeing what it did to you. And I was like,
Wow, man.
Wow.
that's your decision.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do for my mental health, because I would feel so bad if I was like, kill it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's
That's
an
amazing you
animal
even
and
did
then it's
that
a
too,
pet.
man. Yeah, man.
So it's an animal and then it's a pet. That's
Wow.
yeah. What was your second question?
On the mic, Max.
It was those two. It was, did you ever see it again?
Yeah, I know.
And he probably put it down.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Also, I had another, but that was my two questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Thank
Those are
you.
very good questions.
That was really professional.
Fantastic.
What about
I like when he walks in and he's like, microphone.
do you have any daily rituals?
Daily rituals. I have like a routine. Is that it?
Yeah, let's
Wake
get
up
it.
and skate. I come back. I eat. I get a coffee. I go take my
Not
dog.
coffee first?
Well, it depends. 'Cause
Okay.
you know when you skate, like sometimes it's like
Yeah.
a little gross in your stomach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Right? Like I'm like, but I already have energy when I wake up. So like I love coffee for the flavor, not for like the caffeine.
Wow. That's
Coffee. Yeah. So I
Skate
take my
first.
dog to the dog park and then I do whatever I want, to be honest.
What kind of dog you got?
I got a little Pomeranian and a Chihuahua. Little Pomchi.
Nice.
She's cute. She's cute.
That's awesome.
She's not too snappy like those other
Right.
Chihuahuas, but
That's
Nice,
amazing. And then
nice.
one of the main questions at the end is also like, but you're an optimist or pessimist, but you're so fucking posy, man. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
thank
Like
you. That means a lot.
your whole life, it seems like you always just been outgoing, like just stay in your lane. You said, fuck what people think about you. It might hurt a little bit, but I'm gonna keep going. Makes me stronger. And
And I think that has a lot to do with how my parents raised me as well.
your parents get
So
major props.
shout
on this.
out.
Your parents are amazing,
Yeah.
man.
No, they are, honestly.
That Greek Lebanese mix.
Good food and that good food. No, but I'm super blessed to have grown up with them, just seen life from a different perspective
Yeah.
from their eyes
Absolutely.
as well, because they've
For
gone
sure.
through shit too, like we all have. So
Yeah.
I think, like I said in the beginning, like the more we talk about what we're going through, the less others feel alone. And I think it's just really important to talk about the shit that we deal with.
Yeah, I love that you're such an
Honestly.
open book too. It's like it's
thank
helping
you.
so many people.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I'm sure I
really
heard some
do.
crazy stories from other people and people venting to you about stuff. And do people
yeah.
DM you a lot about stuff like that?
Oh,
Or?
all the time. All the time. They send me pictures.
Wow.
And I love it because I love seeing that type of stuff. I
Yeah.
love seeing that bloody shot because I have that. So I want to see yours. You know what I mean? I love seeing people's scars. I love when I'm
You've
out.
always been like that before this?
Yeah, I've always liked that stuff.
So you fuck
Medical
with the pimple
stuff.
popper show and shit
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh,
It's like a weird
Yeah.
guilty pleasure, honestly.
okay.
It's kind of satisfying. Like think of like an old man's back and then getting it cleaned out. You know what I mean? Think about it like that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, just watch like the surgeries and stuff like that. It's fucking
Yeah. No, I used to love those like open heart operations. Like I loved seeing that stuff, and it sounds really like weird, right? That sounds like I don't know, like weird, but I now I know I like that because I had to handle it myself, to be honest. So, I mean, everything happens for a reason.
It really does.
It
Yeah.
does.
And then do you have certain goals now? I know you always, like for me, I didn't start a podcast like 3 years ago. I'm in my 50s. So throughout your life, you start learning different things you want to try and do. You never really know what you really want to do,
Right.
particularly, you know, especially in
Yeah.
our world of skateboarding and everything else. Like,
There's just so many things that I want to do, and I feel like I don't know how to hyper focus on things that. To do that, I want to continue to make music because I do love music and it's something that is super cool. And I think just music in general is awesome. I do really want to be able to public speak and share my story because, like I said, like if I want to help one person, that's the main goal of everything, right? I don't know, just everything. I feel like
you're just living. I feel like you're like,
I'm
you really
literally
appreciate life
taking one
and-
day at a time. Whatever
Right.
comes to me, I'll think about it and do. And that's. I think that's how I have to be. That's how I have been the last 2 years. So it's a different mindset that I've had. Like no expectations, but also just like a lot of hope, I guess. So, yeah.
I mean, it's truly inspiring, man.
Yeah,
Like-
no
Thank
doubt,
you.
no doubt about it.
Like, just
I'm really, I didn't know what to expect coming here this
And now you know.
afternoon. I'm
Something
so,
that tragic just turned.
Yeah,
But her attitude from the very jump too, like, and just you gotta get to the hospital, like just your positivity, like, oh my god, my face, I'm being model, like none of that stuff.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that would have been totally like normal to think
And
at
it's
that moment. You know what I'm
weird.
saying? Like we were just like, let's get.
Yeah. No, it's weird too, because like right when it happened, I could have thought, oh my God, I'm never going to model again. But now I'm like, I'm going to model again just to be like, you could go through some shit and you're selling clothes, not your face.
Right.
That's
True.
the problem with the industry, right? Like you got to have some like good looking model to share my clothes. It's like real life people go through shit.
Yes.
And whether you want to promote your clothing in a positive or whatever kind of way.
Honestly, the best models are the ones that have the attitude, you know,
Yeah.
it really comes across.
The one that have
And a
gone,
story. And not just the
Yeah.
looks. Yeah.
scars,
Yes,
tattoos,
absolutely.
come on, like seriously. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that. That's all I'm gonna say. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
do
know.
that.
Yeah, I know you will, man. I fucking.
Thank you.
And if you have any bullies, just let me know.
Yeah, right.
Just
I'll send them straight to you.
straight to me. They got
Okay,
something to
good.
say.
We got
You
your
know,
back.
they got,
I'll send you
want to
them.
get in your business.
Too
you-
many of them.
Do you,
Get
have a
out of here.
do you have a website too or anything, or do people can find you just besides Instagram? Your
No,
name?
like just YouTube and Instagram, I think. And
And
I make
YouTube, yeah.
make some dumb TikToks. That's it.
Okay.
Are you working? You like the TikTok?
No, I hate it.
The
Yeah.
TikToks.
Social media, I genuinely am.
I was
I
going to
feel
ask you
you.
that.
I
How,
feel
how
you.
much involved are you in social media? Do you
I
check
have
your
to be involved, so that's like my
Right.
work right now, right?
Totally,
If
man.
you call me an influencer, I'll walk out this door. But
Oh,
I
snap.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I'm grateful to have the platform that I have to have, but I genuinely do not like technology.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm with someone, I don't want to be on it at all. Pictures are cool, videos are cool, make memories, that type of stuff. But I feel like I have to post. Not my medical stuff, but just like things for brands and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I love doing it because it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're doing what you love. You get to-
right, exactly.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love fashion. I love clothing. I
Yeah.
love posting about companies that are super sick. I'm all for that. But when I'm with people, I don't like phones. I don't like technology. I don't like social media. I feel like people my age don't know how to have conversations
Right.
anymore, and
I
that's
agree.
the thing I can't wrap my head around. Like,
Yeah.
Not only your age.
yeah, no,
everybody's-
but
yeah.
just everyone's so
Yeah.
attached to it, and it's like that's their personality, right? Like that's their safety net is their phone and what they're worth based on that. And yeah, no, I really like having conversations with people and not them being distracted by their phones, because I think it's really like this has been the best thing.
That's
like,
why I love this.
talking to you guys and really just not being like distracted by anything.
That's why I
And-
love the pod, because I get 2 or 3 hours away from it all day, even though the only people's phones went off for you, both of you guys. But just
Sorry.
talking to face-to-face conversations, that's why I would never do a Zoom one. I never do a phone. Like,
Yeah, no.
I'll wait as long as it takes to have her here, just to have the conversations.
Thank you for your patience, by the way. I'm
Of
so
course,
sorry for
dude.
being literally the worst.
I see
But
what
now
you're
you
going through.
understand, right?
Yes, I see
no,
what
no.
you're going through.
You know what I mean by like the phone? Like I just don't like if I
Yeah.
don't have to be on it, and I'm not, and I'm sorry for not responding, and
Dude,
like
that's all
you
good.
know what I mean though? Like I'm just
But I love that you're like that.
yeah, but it sucks because if my mom's trying to get my attention, she's
I have
sending me the
this-
same message
this
10
problem.
times. I'm sorry,
And
mom.
this problem, I'm horrible at responding to messages,
Yeah.
and I hate being on the phone.
I like
time.
phone calls. Phone call me.
Yeah.
I
Like-
don't. I just.
Old school.
It's just the
There
moment
we
is so
go.
important, and
Uh-huh.
it drives me crazy when people aren't cherishing that moment that you're in.
Right.
You know, and they're just like,
Like
diddling away or whatever.
yeah, exactly. Like if I'm at dinner with you, let's have the dinner
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
the distraction, not our phones.
You're not going to
Right.
miss nothing that drastic that
Yeah.
happens.
Right.
But I love that
Exactly.
we have this dial-up phone behind me. It doesn't work anymore, but my wife taught my son how to dial and call his friends at school
Love
when he was
that.
younger. And my son never played video games, never in the house. He skated, surfed, played drums. Like he's on the phone once in a while talking to friends, but he's always out.
Yep, that's
He's
how
like
I
an
am.
outside kid like I was growing up, which makes me happy.
And I think that's the best type of childhood, right? Like my mom would, right when I got home from school, you have any homework? Nope. Okay, go outside. Once that light turns on, that's when you come back in.
yeah,
Like, all
street
right,
lights come on, yeah.
I was out from 2:45 till like 7:00, and that's that was the best.
Yeah,
just
that's the life.
being a
outside,
kid,
especially
right?
as a
Freedom,
kid.
being outside, don't have to
being
worry
a
about it.
kid. Now
Never
it's
was inside. Never.
yeah. Now kids are
Rarely,
just
yeah.
inside too much.
And this is
We're-
all they know is that like
Their
that's all my
phone.
son's gonna know is the world of social media. Where, if you were getting bullied at school in our age, you go home and you were safe with your family. But now kids get bullied on their phones
yeah,
while they're at
that's
home in their
true.
bedrooms
Right.
all night long till they go back to school and see the bully. Like it's 24-hour
But-
nonstop.
Yeah,
And
but
I-
the worst part about that is you see the bully and they won't say anything to your face,
Exactly.
right? Until you
Yes.
go home. So it's like you don't ever feel safe, right? Which is, I mean,
It just happened to one of my friend's daughters. Maybe I'll take out the problem. I can say the name, but they did this on the internet. Let's just say that they made fun of her on the internet. But then she sees him at school and they didn't say nothing to
yeah,
her.
they
Yeah.
and the way that
course
they
not.
carry themselves is like you can tell that they're hurting inside too. So it's just
Oh,
this world of
absolutely.
pain. It's like
Yeah.
sad. It's like they're
Really
tearing
sad.
each other down. I mean, this is very everyone says it, but you tear the hurt people tear everybody down, right? And
hurt
then-
people hurt people.
Right, exactly. Hurt people. So, yeah, it's sad to see, honestly.
Yeah. I just envy those friends of mine that are like never got on.
Mm-hmm.
They have such incredible lives.
On social media.
They've never been on. You know,
Yeah, I
have
know a bunch
friends
of people
that never-
too.
They're just like, no, that's
Yeah.
never been a part of my life.
No, and you know
love
what?
that too. I'm like,
If it wasn't for like social media networking and that type of life that I am having to learn right now,
Yeah.
I don't think I would be. I mean, yeah, posting skate videos are great. Like you can have community behind it, but there's a lot of other things that come with it, right?
but your
True,
journey,
true,
like
true.
just your journey
Very true.
and being open with that's inspiring people. That's like a positive thing. When
Right,
you know what
yeah.
you're doing.
No.
And when I
Fair
post, I don't look. I just post and I get off.
Keep
I
it
don't,
moving. Yeah.
Yeah, or I'll post a snap or not a Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat, but I'll post like a story, right? And I
Right.
get off. Like I'm never really
Yeah.
reading my messages or like I said, like reading comments. Like I just post and I get off and I get on with my
Yeah.
walk.
Mhm.
I go
mean,
outside. Yeah.
It's good for our bands promoting tours, other
Right.
podcasts.
It's kind of it's necessary.
It's a
I think.
necessary.
I mean,
Pros and cons.
It's like
Yeah.
marketing. It's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like
yeah, very
It's-
very true.
no more making flyers and hoping somebody sees it. You put a post up. People
I wish it was like
they
that.
know you're coming to town.
Oh, I wish it was
know,
like
Yeah.
that. I love seeing flyers on like not lost dogs, but like when people promote their business and they're
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
tutor or I love
Or
that.
rip
I'm
this
like,
off and
yeah.
get violin lessons or something random at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you for being here. This was wonderful, man.
Thank you guys so much
Yeah,
for
it
having
was
me.
so
You guys
I
are the
really-
best people, best podcast. Thank you guys for having me.
I
Genuinely.
really appreciate you sharing your story, and it's great to
Yeah.
meet you in real life.
Thank
and
you.
you look amazing, and your journey is
Yes.
just awesome.
Yeah, I'll
man.
pay you later for that.
No, shout out to your doctors. Shout out
Yeah,
to all
for
your
real.
doctors,
Big
your
shout out to
Dr.
parents.
them
Doe.
and all
Bobby
the nurses
Hundreds.
and everybody in that field.
Yeah, Bobby. He's awesome.
And Bobby.
Let's get Bobby some Bobby Hundreds.
Bobby.
We love you. We appreciate you. You're a huge
Thank you for the
inspiration.
connection.
The connection, and I love everything you put in the world, Bobby Hundreds, and everything you've done.
Word.
H2O was the first collab he ever did with a band.
Wow.
Fast forward to like years later, he did with Sepultura, his band recently.
Okay.
And Bobby's an
Okay.
old hardcore kid, you know. And
Bobby's just doing the most in the
But,
best
yeah.
way.
yeah.
and
Do you still have that collab? Do you have that T-shirt or anything?
I'm gonna try to find it. My
No, please find it. I need to see that.
yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, we love you, Bobby Hundreds. Everything, and you connect people, and that's what this is about. So
Beautiful. That's what life should be about. Connection.
there needs to be like a collab with you and Hundreds with your orange hat,
Would love that. The orange beanie.
and we're gonna skate together too.
Yes, please. We will go.
Anything else, Max? You want to add? You want to say anything back? You care? All right. You guys gonna surf together too, for sure.
Yeah, we will. 100%. I'm
Well, thank you.
excited. Thank you so much. Have a
Thanks
good
for
day.
listening, everybody.
Thank you.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations, US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to the podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives.